again and welcome to Intro to Studio and Media video production classes. Today we want to go through in this first segment, talk a little bit about our camera. Later we'll talk about the tripod, but let's basically talk about the video camera that you're going to be using. I want to take everybody through the initial phases of taking the camera and getting it out of the case and getting it ready to go. You'll notice that all of our cameras that we have are stored in the metal cases. It's a little bit more to lug around, but it protects our equipment. It's very important that you always put your camera in the case, you carry it around in the case. That way it's going to protect everything. You'll notice on our cases, they have numbers on the cases. This one says camera number 1, and we have our cases numbered cameras 1 through camera 6. So when you're taking the cameras in and out, be aware that camera number 1 goes back in case number 1. Now, on our metal cases, the first thing we want to do is I want to have you notice on the top of the case, there's actually a series of combinations, kind of like a combination lock. These need to be set at 0, 0, 0. That's very important because if somebody would turn these and get the numbers mixed up, you would go out to film a job and you wouldn't be able to get into the case because they would be locked. So just try to remember they always need to be set at 0, 0, 0. We have clasp on the top, we have clasp on the side of the case in order to lock everything up. In order to open these up, what you do is you will take the little buttons on the side and you will push them outward and it will open up, and then we want to release the catches on the side. I've had people struggle before because they're pushing on the buttons and they're pushing them in and they couldn't get it open. And that you just take your thumbs and you push them out and it will open up the case. Inside the case you'll find our Panasonic camera. These cases were not made for the cameras. They're actually just a case that we picked up that helps protect them. So there is no certain way for the camera to go in. It can go in this direction or that direction. You don't want to put it in upside down. You want to be able to grab a hold of the handle. Now you'll notice this was camera number 1, and on the top of each of our cameras there's a camera number. So this should be camera 1 located in case number 1. So we have our Panasonic digital video camera. These cameras are about probably 3 years old, maybe 4 now. We still have cameras that use mini DV tapes. That used to be the latest and greatest thing, but now most of the cameras that you have record to some type of a media card. But we have not been able to get those cameras yet, so we're going to be using a Panasonic camera that records to mini DV tape. I'm going to shut the case up here a second, and taking a look at the camera. Before we can do anything with the camera, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to power up the camera. We have a series of batteries that are located in the classroom. I'll show you later where those are at. And before we can do anything to the camera, put a tape in, get it ready to go, we need to put the battery in. So on our batteries have an arrow on the back side, and what we want to do is, if you'll find that arrow is going to go down. Over on the right hand side of the camera there's this battery compartment that's right back here, and this is how we take our battery, we push it in with the arrow pointed down, and then we push down, and you'll actually hear it go click. You'll hear it go click. So just take the battery, push it all the way to the back, and then push down, and it will, you hear it click, it locks in there. Now we have power to the camera. Now to take the battery out, located at the very top is a small little button, and actually that button, if you got down really close and looked at it, it says push. I push in on that and lift up on the battery, and the battery will come out. You have to remember to push the button in order to get the battery out of there. You don't have to do it when you put it in, but when you take it out, you have to push that little button in. Do not force it. You could break the camera. You have to remember these things. Push that button and lift the battery out. We always want to take the battery out before we put the camera away so we can put the batteries back on charge. Okay, our camera now has power to it, and we want to turn our camera on. Located on the handle right over here, and that you'll see a little red button, and you'll also see a little switch. And what you want to do is you want to turn that switch to on. And you'll see it says off on, and then a little light will come on, indicating that we have power to the camera. That's how you turn it on. When you get finished, you just turn that switch counterclockwise, the light will go out and the camera's powered off. So that's how you turn the camera on and off. We power our camera on, and then once again, as you're looking at the camera from the back, over on the right-hand side, there's a compartment right here. This is where we put our videotape. In order to put the videotape in the camera, if you'll look at it from this angle looking down, it says open eject. There's a little button we push forward, and then we will pull out. We pull out this direction, and it will open up a little compartment, and there's a little mechanism that will come up, it will open up, it's a little carriage assembly, and it's asking for the videotape. And you can, maybe from that angle, you'll be able to see it right there. So the camera's now ready to accept the videotape, and I'm going to set it down 1 second to show you. We're going to be using the little mini DV tapes, digital video tapes. They come in a plastic case. That's where you want to keep them. And you'll notice that we'll have a sticker on them, and it will say Block B, Block C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever tape you're using, if you're in Block B, and that it should be a Block B tape, and it doesn't necessarily have to match up with the camera number, but if you're using tape number 3, you've got to remember that. And if there's 2 or 3 people in your group, make sure that everybody remembers tape number 3. So what we're going to do is now we're going to take the case, open it up, take the tape out. Now let me show you something. Here's our empty case. Here's what to do. And then open up your camera case, put that inside. That sounds like a really dumb thing to do, but no, here's what happens. People in the group, somebody will take the case, they'll set it down somewhere, they'll put it in their pocket. Later, then that class is almost over, you're putting everything away, you can't find the plastic case. So you know if you put it in your metal case, it's going to be there when you get back, and you can put your tape back in that plastic case, and you can lay it on my desk. I collect all the tapes at the end of the day. Okay, what we want to do now, take the mini DV tape, and we need to insert that into the camera. The one side in that, which will basically be the spine of the tape, it's the hard area, this is going to be up. And if you'll notice, we have little white sprockets right here. Those need to go to the inside of the camera so they can line up on the sprocket assemblies. So you always want to make sure that those white areas, those little sprocket wheels, and that go to the inside. We want to take our tape, and it will only go in one way. You can't put it in incorrectly, and you never want to force it. We want to take our tape, we're going to push it, just let our tape be pushed in. We can easily do it with one finger, and then all you need to do, that little metal transport system, if you push it right in the middle, don't start pushing it one side, just go right in the middle. This way you have even pressure on both sides. Push it in, and if you listen, you'll actually hear the motor draw the tape down inside the camera. And you have to pay attention and watch. Make sure it's down inside the camera before you shut the door. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems in that, because a lot of times people they'll put the tape in, then they'll jam the door closed real quick, and the little mechanism has not pulled the tape down into the camera, and you can actually mess everything up. Wait, watch, make sure it's down in before you shut the door. To eject the tape, we do the same thing, just backwards. We push open, eject, push the door, pull it all the way out, just wait. It will come up, it will pop out, it will eject the tape, so you can take your tape out of the camera. Once again, sprockets, the little white sprocket wheels go to the inside of the camera, and you can very easily just push the tape in, the little metal carriage, push it right in the center with your finger. You can watch it and hear it. It will be transported down into the camera. We shut the door, and now our tape is located in the camera. And we're now ready to begin recording, and we'll in the next segment we'll look at some of the functions of the camera. Well, we got the tape in, it's got power because of the battery, it's turned on, we're all ready to go. So we'll move on to the next section of looking at some of the functions of the video camera.